Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a financial education program from the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office. I'm your host, Gina Joins. The West Virginia State Treasurer's Office provides several programs to promote financial wellness. One of the longest running of those programs is Smart 529. Smart 529 is West Virginia's official savings and investment program to help families save for the cost of higher education. Since the program was started in West Virginia more than 20 years ago, thousands of families have invested in the Smart 529 plan. Joining me today is Jørn Otte, a strategic marketing consultant with Hartford Funds. Jørn is based here in West Virginia. He travels the state educating people about the benefits of West Virginia's Smart 529 college savings plan. Jørn, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And the Smart 529 college savings program has been around, as I said, for over 20 years.
I know, it's hard to believe.
And many people are not familiar with the program, though still.
Sure.
There's always new babies being born
Absolutely.
in the state, new reasons to save for higher education.
Right.
Can you give us an overview of Smart 529,
Sure.
the program, and really what it's used for?
Absolutely. So as you said, it's been around for over 20 years now, and basically it's essentially a way for people to set aside money for children, grandchildren, anybody that they would like to save for that future higher education. You put it into portfolios that then hopefully grow as your child or grandchild grows, and then whenever they reach the age where they might go to college or vocational school or training school or anything of that nature, then those funds are there for them to be able to use for that education.
And it's just a great opportunity for families, but for a lot of families, they might think, well, why do I need to save
Sure.
for higher education? My child is going to get a scholarship.
Right.
But there are a lot of reasons to save. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely, and not to discount scholarships. We certainly hope that our kids achieve those, but college is very expensive, and it continues to get more expensive every year. According to some studies, approximately $400,000 might be the cost to go to a private school in 20 years for that four-year education. Public school, $250,000. That's a lot of money. So setting aside funds for that kind of education can be very important to do early on, but also, yes, you might get those scholarships. You might have an athletic scholarship. You might have an academic scholarship. I can speak to this firsthand. I have a son in college right now who got some great scholarships, but scholarships don't pay for everything, and it's important to set aside some money to pay for those things that the academic scholarships, the grants and things might not cover. College can be very expensive. We want to make sure that our families have the opportunity to send those kids and grandkids to school.
And, a lot of people ask, well, when do I need to start
Sure.
saving? Because you really, as a parent, a lot of times you don't think about saving for higher education, or you don't even think about higher education at all until your child is maybe middle school,
Right.
usually high school.
Right.
But the message with Smart 529 is start saving even earlier than that if you can.
Of course. I always tell people it's never too late to start, but the earlier you can start, the better. If you can open an account for a child when they're born or when they're 5 years old, you're certainly going to have a lot more time to set aside money than if you waited until they were in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. Having said that, every dollar that you can set aside is a dollar that child won't have to pay back in student loans. So even if your child is already in middle school or in high school, it's still important to start setting aside some money. But if you can start early, then you've got a great opportunity to let that grow over the next 15, 16, 17 years.
And, okay, we're talking about saving early.
Yes.
There's a great incentive if you start really early
Absolutely.
and start investing in that first year of the child's life. Talk about
So
that.
there's this program called Bright Babies, and the way it works is that if you open an account for a child before they turn 1, you get a free $100 deposited into the account. So it's a great kickstart to make sure that account has a little bit of funds in it right at the beginning so that it can grow over time. And I always tell people, even if you just have $1, put $1 in and open the account so that you can get that $100 and so you can let it start to grow. If you wait until you have enough money to open an account, probably never going to open an account.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, you talk about enough money, you're never going to have enough money. And a lot of people think, well, this is an investment program or it's a savings program.
Sure.
That's for people with a lot of money, but that's not the case. This program is designed with everyday West Virginians
Absolutely.
in mind.
Absolutely.
It's not just for the rich.
You can open an account for $1. There's no minimum amount to start. There's no minimum amount that you have to put in every month. I always tell people, if you have the $5 or $10 or whatever it might be, open the account, and then as you have extra funds, you can put them in there. Obviously, it's going to grow more the more money that you put in, and you want to try and invest a little bit every month. But birthdays, Christmases, any other time that your child gets a little extra money for something, putting some in that Smart 529 account is really going to benefit them down the road.
But even that $1 over 18 years,
you never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. It could really multiply.
Absolutely.
With an
and if you open the account before they turn 1 and get that $100 and continue to put a little bit in every month,
right,
it's going, you're going to have a real opportunity for growth. I do want to mention one more thing about the Bright Babies. In addition to opening an account for a child before they're 1 and getting that, it also is available to people who are adopted. So if you adopt a child, no matter the age of the child, within the first year after adoption, if you open that 529 account, you also get $100. So it's a wonderful program.
A great incentive. It really is a great incentive, that $100 Bright Babies program.
Sure.
But there are other incentives to investing with Smart 529. One of those incentives is the tax advantages.
Right.
You do get some tax advantages. So you're not just growing your money, but you're also getting some tax benefits.
Absolutely. So every dollar that a West Virginia resident puts into their 529 account is a dollar for dollar deduction they get to take off of their state taxable income. So in other words, if you make $50,000 a year and you were to put $5,000 into your Smart 529 account, your taxable income is reduced now to $45,000. That's a wonderful way to make some tax savings there. But in addition to that, the money grows tax deferred. And if it's used for an educational purpose, there's no taxes on the growth whatsoever at the state or federal level. So you can use all of that money tax-free for future education.
So no taxes on the earnings.
No taxes on the earnings whatsoever, as long as it's used for a qualified educational expense.
All right. It's flexible too.
Absolutely.
I mean, we get this question. I know you get this question a lot. What if my child doesn't go to college?
Right.
What if my child decides other plans? It's easy for me to say I'm going to have a child that goes to college when she or he is 1.
Right.
But that's a long time away. So
Sure.
there's some flexibility to make sure that you don't
Absolutely.
lose what you're putting in.
Absolutely. And it's important to note that when you put money into a 529, you as the account owner maintain control of the account, so it's your money. You're not going to lose it just because that child may or may not go to some form of higher education. We can't predict the future, but we can at least prepare for it a little bit with that 529 account. And then if the child does go to college, wonderful. If they go to vocational school, technical school, professional training, essentially anything beyond high school that requires a tuition or fee associated with it, you can use your Smart 529 funds for. But let's say the child doesn't need the money or doesn't choose to use the money for whatever reason. Maybe they do get that full ride scholarship. Rare though they might be, it happens. Maybe they go into the military, or maybe they go straight into the workforce and they just don't need the funds. You can change the beneficiary. So let's say the oldest child in that family doesn't need it, but the next child does. You can change the beneficiary to anybody in the family. And family, in terms of changing the beneficiary, includes everybody up to first cousins.
Or you yourself.
Or absolutely, yes. Yeah,
you want to go back to school.
Absolutely. You can change yourself to the beneficiary and use it for, or you can also leave it in there and maybe the child will change their mind later on. You're not required to start using it as soon as they graduate high school. Maybe you leave it in there for their future child and imagine the amount of money that could grow to for that future grandchild. Or at the end of the day, if there's no other use for it, you can withdraw the money. It's your money, your account, you're in control of it. Now, just like if you were to take money out of your retirement account and not use it for retirement, you would pay taxes and fees. The same thing is associated with 529. If you take money out of your 529 plan and it's not used for an educational purpose, you pay taxes on the growth only and a 10% federal income tax penalty. Again, this is just on the growth. So, over the course of 18 years, if you put $10,000 in there and it grew to $30,000, we would only be talking about the extra $20,000 that you would have that penalty and taxes on. So you still get a return on your investment, just wouldn't be as much as if it were fully for education.
All right. Well, it's really interesting how many people are looking at different ways they can use the 529,
Sure.
and now you can even use it for K through 12 tuition if you
Yes.
go to private school.
Absolutely. That is a new thing that happened just a few years ago, where you can use any of the money that you put into a 529 for K to 12 private school tuition only. So you can't use it for, like, if the school requires a uniform, a books, or anything of that nature, you can't use it for those, but you can use it for private school tuition up to $10,000 a year.
Okay, I want to talk about that a little bit deeper because
Sure.
while the K through 12 provision only allows for you to use 529 funds to pay for tuition, 529 for higher education, when
Right.
you're talking about when they graduate high school and they go on to college or maybe a 2-year, 4-year degree,
Right.
they can use it not just for tuition, but they can use it for room and board.
Exactly.
They can use it for books. I think even computers
There's so many
qualify.
things you can use it for. We used ours to buy my daughter a laptop when she went to college. As you said, tuition obviously, but room and board, books, fees, supplies. And when it comes to room and board, you can even use it for off-campus housing. Not a lot of people realize, let's say you have a child that wants to go to WVU, but they don't want to stay in a dorm. They want to get an apartment with their friends or whatever. You can use your 529 funds to pay for rent and groceries up to whatever the institution would charge for room and board. Just got to maintain, of course, all your receipts for tax purposes. But it really is, as you said, very, very flexible.
Very flexible. A lot of ways to use Smart 529 funds. And a lot of eligible expenses that you wouldn't think of.
Right.
Many people do confuse it with the Promise Scholarship, and
True.
Promise Scholarship is a tuition-based
Exactly.
scholarship.
And your 529 funds don't affect your eligibility for Promise and vice versa. Promise is wonderful, and I hope that as many West Virginia students as possible can take advantage of that. But it is a finite amount of money, and it is just for tuition. So if your child does get Promise, wonderful. But then they can use the 529 funds for what Promise doesn't cover.
Now let's talk about how much should I save.
Sure.
If I have a young one, I want to get started. I don't know where to start. I assume the website is a good starting point, and there's a lot of useful tools on the website as well.
Absolutely. So you go to www.smart529.com. Essentially everything that you would need to know about the plans are on there, the different types of portfolios that are offered, all the different expenses that you can use it for. But there's also a calculator on there where you can essentially put in your child's age and whether they're going to go to a public school, private school, and you can estimate. This calculator is great because it really does give you real world figures in terms of costs of higher education. So you can sort of get an idea of, if I need to pay for, say, $20,000 of my child's $50,000 school, how much do I need to put aside every month for the next X number of years? You plug that information into the calculator and it'll give you a real figure for you to be able to sort of balance your budget with.
And there are a lot of different investment options, so
Absolutely.
it really can be tailored to your needs.
It can. There's an age-based portfolio, which is what a lot of people use, but there's a variety of different portfolios that you can choose from, essentially based on your own risk aversion. If you're the type of person that's like, I don't know if I want to roll the dice on a really risky investment, we have options. They're called stable value funds. But if you're the type of person who thinks, well, I could take on a little more risk with the potential for higher reward, then there's a bunch of different growth programs that you can choose.
And the age-based portfolios are a little bit of a combination
Yeah,
of
it's
the
sort of
two,
like,
right?
yeah, it's
it
a
grows
complete
with
salad.
the child.
Yeah, exactly.
It grows with the child.
Yeah, so if you open an account for a child, as we said earlier, when they're born and you get that $100, that $100 is invested in a almost exclusively equities fund. So it's an aggressive fund because you have time to take those risks with the hope of that higher reward. But then as the child gets older, the portfolio changes on its own. You as the accountant don't have to do anything. If you're in the age-based portfolio, it'll roll over to a new set of portfolios for certain age brackets, 0 to 3, 4 to 6, and so forth. So that by the time the child is 18, it's almost exclusively in that stable value fund that I mentioned. Now, certainly don't have to do that, and you also don't have to put all of your eggs into one basket. If you, say, wanted to invest $100 a month, you could put $50 into that age-based portfolio, but you could also put 20 into an aggressive one, the other 30 into a conservative, however you want to mix and match.
Oh, okay, great. And there's a lot of options when it comes time to use that money.
Yes.
I mentioned this earlier, but I wanted you to expand on it a
Sure.
little bit more. The fact that it doesn't need to be a 4-year college
Correct.
that you go to. There are a lot of different options to use your 529
Absolutely.
Money, as long as it's for educational purposes.
Absolutely. We call it West Virginia's College Savings Plan, and rightly so, because a lot of people use it for that. But you can also use it for that 2-year or 4-year education, both in-state and out-of-state. That's very important to mention, too. I do get asked a lot,
Oh,
since
yeah.
this is West Virginia's College Savings Plan, is it only for use in West Virginia? No, you can use it anywhere around the country, more than 400 international institutions. Obviously, we would love to keep our best and brightest here, so hopefully we can do that, but you can use it wherever you'd like to go to school.
it's a great way for a parent to kickstart their child's education starting early.
Yes.
But it's also a great way for grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends and family to gift something to a child. We're coming upon the holidays here, and it's just a great option. We talk all the time about people buying that little toy or that little gift for birthday, Christmas, whatever the holiday is.
Right.
You could be gifting money into the 529.
And the gift that keeps on giving, so to speak, because if you put that money in there when they're 5, it's going to continue to grow over the course of the next several years. And anybody can contribute to a 529 plan. You mentioned grandparents and aunts and uncles, and certainly if, say, mom opens a 529 account for the child, grandma and grandpa can contribute to that account, aunts and uncles can contribute to that account. One of the easiest ways is to go to the website I mentioned, smart529.com. There's a gift card option that you can buy. So you just click on gift card, and you can send a gift card to the mom to be able to use on that particular account. There's no limit to the number of people that can contribute to one 529 account. There's also no limit to the number of 529 accounts that one beneficiary can have. So maybe grandma and grandpa want to open one, mom and dad want to open one, your aunt out in California decides she wants to open one. Anybody can open an account for one particular beneficiary. And when it comes to the West Virginia Direct Plan, if you are a West Virginia resident or the grandparent, parent, whatever, of a West Virginia resident, then you have the opportunity to participate in the direct plan. If you are not a West Virginia resident, there's still the Hartford Smart 529 or the Smart 529 Select that you can participate in.
So it's a nationwide program.
Nationwide program, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's really nice, too, the fact that if I open an account for my child, I own that account.
Absolutely.
You really have control over that account.
Yeah, when the child turns 18, they don't get to take the money out and buy a car or whatever. It is your account, you control it, so you decide when and where those funds are distributed.
All right, this is some great information about the Smart 529 program. We're going to take a short break right now, but when we return, we will talk to Jørn about some of the exciting things happening with the Smart 529 program. Stay with us, we will be right back. Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joins. We've been talking about Smart 529, a savings and investment plan that helps West Virginians save for higher education. Jørn Otte, a local representative with Hartford Funds, is here with me today to talk more about the latest opportunities with Smart 529. And Jørn, I want to emphasize, we've been talking about the plan in general, Smart 529, but I also want to emphasize what I just said in my intro, that you are right here based in West Virginia.
Yes, ma'am.
You grew up in West Virginia,
I did.
So it's so nice to have a representative that works on behalf of Hartford Funds and as a representative of the Treasurer's Office to talk to people about the Smart 529 program.
The favorite part of my job is being able to travel around the state, meet people from all over, different walks of life, different careers, and be able to share with them something that can change their child or grandchild's life. I grew up in Beckley, West Virginia. I went to Woodrow Wilson High School, where I met my wife of now 27 years, and we have 2 kids that we raised in West Virginia schools. So I'm very proud to be a West Virginian and very proud to represent Smart 529 all around the state.
Right, and speaking of representing it all around the state, there is a contest annually with the Smart 529 program that Smart 529 and the State Treasurer's Office host.
Yes. And
it's a wonderful opportunity to meet people, especially some of the younger people in our state. This contest is called Smart 529's When I Grow Up Essay Contest. It's been going on for almost 2 decades, almost as long as the plan's been open. And it's a great opportunity for students in grades kindergarten through 5th grade to tell their story. Talk a little bit about it.
So I have had the great pleasure of speaking at a bunch of different elementary schools all around the state to talk to the kids about what they want to be when they grow up. And it's phenomenal to go into a classroom and hear a kindergartner tell you that they want to be an astronaut, or hear a fifth grader tell you that they want to be a doctor. And they really are passionate about these things. So the contest, the way it works, kids can write an essay of up to 100 words about what they want to be when they grow up. There's 3 different age brackets: kindergarten and first grade, second and third grade, fourth and fifth grade. And then they submit it to the contest, either through their school, or they can actually do it online. And if they are one of the selected winners, each winner, there's 5 regions around the state. Each region gets 3 winners, so 15 winners from around the state. Each winner gets a $500 Smart 529 account. In addition to that, the school that they attend also gets a $500 reward that they can use for whatever they see fit. And then those 15 winners get invited to Charleston to the Cultural Center, where we have this wonderful banquet. And as you know, it's a phenomenal opportunity to hear these kids get up and tell their story about what they want to be when they grow up. It's so much fun. And then the treasurer will select one random winner out of those 15, hand in the bucket, pulls out the name, and that winner gets an additional $4,500 for a total of $5,000 in a Smart 529 account. One of the best things that we do all year.
So up to $5,000
Absolutely.
invested in a Smart 529 college savings account. A great opportunity
Absolutely.
for any child here in the state of West Virginia. And you also said that the school receives $500. That's a cash prize,
Absolutely,
correct?
yeah, cash prize that they can use however they see fit for supplies or whatever they might need. And in addition, my wife is a kindergarten teacher, so she uses some things like this in the classroom. It's a great classroom tool to get kids excited about what they want to be for the future. So we know a lot of teachers use it just for the the experience of being able to talk to the kids about what their future might be like.
Oh, there we have some of our winners up on the screen from 2023, earlier in the year. And this contest is getting ready to start. It will launch in January of 2024.
Yes.
Will be the next contest, and I think the deadline is in February. February 23rd is the deadline for the 2024 contest. So it will be coming up fast, and we encourage people to go on to the website and learn more about the contest. It's a great opportunity, just so much fun. When you see those children up there talking about their essays, talk about what it means to you to hear those stories.
Yeah, to see these kids who really put their heart into these essays, to get up there and talk about, I want to be that astronaut or a lawyer or a doctor or a wide variety. I mean, it's amazing the different professions that some of them I didn't even know existed that these kids will talk about. It. Their passion for what they want to be when they grow up is pretty exciting. And like you said, go on the website and learn about it even before the contest starts. And it's a nice opportunity for parents to talk to their kids about what they want to be when they grow up. And you might be surprised to learn the things that your little one's interested in. So huge fan of the program. You
talked about some teachers use it in the classroom. That's an option, but parents can also do the contest with their child.
Yes.
So there's different ways to enter. You can send it in through the mail, get a contest entry form online. You can go and enter online as well. So a lot of different options, and different schools that want to participate can participate. It doesn't matter where the child goes to school as long as they're in West Virginia, correct?
Public school, private school, even homeschooled children can participate. There's no limitations other than being kindergarten through 5th grade in West Virginia.
And students aren't the only winners. You talked about your wife and how she and other teachers use this as a opportunity to teach in the classroom.
Absolutely.
It's a great tool for different subjects in the classroom. And they can also win, the teachers. So talk a little bit about that opportunity.
So, if a teacher uses it in the classroom and then wants to write an essay about how they used it in the classroom, they can submit that through the contest, and we select one teacher from around the state to win a check of $2,500. So a cash award to the teacher, $2,500 for them to use however they see fit. And being married to a school teacher, I know how much of their own money that they put into the classroom, so it's nice to be able to reward them and give something back to them.
$2,500 cash prize. That's
Absolutely.
a very nice prize.
Not too bad.
For a teacher here in the state of West Virginia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you want to be a part of this, as I said, the contest officially kicks off in January 2024, but you can start working on your essays now.
Absolutely.
Now's the time to get started.
Absolutely. Get your kid talking about what they want to be when they grow up, and it's really fun for you as a parent.
And once it launches, you can enter the contest. The deadline is February 23rd. Once more, you can learn more about the When I Grow Up essay contest on smart529.com. That's the website to go to. And it's a great opportunity to talk to your child, get them thinking about what they want to be when they grow up, and then get you thinking about saving
exactly.
for their future. We just have a few minutes left.
Sure.
Just talk a little bit more once again about why the Smart 529 is a great opportunity for West Virginians.
You know, the more children and grandchildren in West Virginia that we can get participating in some form of higher education, the better off our state will be. I think that higher education is the key to everything, the key to economic growth, the key to new jobs, the key to industries wanting to locate in West Virginia. So I can't emphasize enough how important I think it is for parents and grandparents to set aside that money, again, as early as possible, but it's never too late, so that their child can have some money to go to some form of higher education. And, you know, you don't have to save for everything. It's not an all or nothing proposition. I think sometimes when we think about saving for retirement, of course, we want to make sure we have everything we need in there. But when it comes to saving for college education, as long as you can save something, you're going to reduce that student debt burden later on in life. So every dollar you can put aside, let's do it.
All right, go to smart529.com for more information. Jan, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Gina, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, well, we've learned a lot about Smart 529 college savings, but the Treasurer's Office also has another savings program that is providing new opportunities for West Virginians. The Jumpstart Savings Program, a first of its kind in the nation, is designed specifically to support West Virginians who currently work or are pursuing a future career in a skilled trade. This savings program allows account owners to save for future expenses incurred in their specialized fields and can be used on everything from tools and equipment to licensing fees and business costs. Skilled workers have a chance to boost their savings right now through a special contest. This is exciting. Simply answer the question, what makes you proud to be a West Virginia skilled worker? Upload your response along with a photo for a chance to win up to $12,000 in a Jumpstart Savings account. You can learn more about the contest and submit your entry on the wvjumpstart.com website. Again, that's wvjumpstart.com. The contest deadline is December 31st, 2023, and of course we look forward to hearing your story. That's all the time we have now. Thank you for joining us. You can learn more about the State Treasurer's Office and its programs by visiting the wvtreasury.com website. Also, you can stay up to date on the latest news and information from the office. Just like and follow WV Treasury on your favorite social media platform. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joynes with the West Virginia State Treasurer's Office.